My childhood was much like, you know, any other kid on the block.
Mhm.
Um, my mother made that happen. Um, I was born in Montana on the Blackfeet Reservation, and after my dad was killed, my mother and I moved down to California, and my mom wanted to kind of break the chain of uh, Native American kind of growing up with that stigma. And um, so I grew up like any other kid on my block. Um, I didn't really realize what a sacrifice that was on her um, part. The judgment from family and, uh, you know, um, the way her family interpreted her leaving and making a life for herself and her son to be like anybody else, and not be one of those goddamn Indians um, who, you know, have the reputation of taking advantage of society and living off the um, dole, that sort of thing. And she succeeded. You know, she made sure that I got a good education. Um, she, unfortunately, I didn't learn a lot about my native culture because she kind of separated from that. But um, she did a tremendous job in, um, you know, getting a good education for me, breaking those stereotypes so I didn't grow up feeling bad about myself. Um, you know, if I would have grown up in Montana, it would have been a much different thing. I didn't even know that I had a brother until I was 13. I thought he was my cousin. Family secrets. My mother was barely 16 when she had him. He was a product of a date rape. Um, it was probably, you know, I can't imagine how hard that was for my mom. His father was um, not a. He didn't want my mother to have him, but he didn't really want him. So he was raised by his paternal grandparents, um, who were good people. Um, but he also went to Indian boarding schools. His life is very much a contrast to mine. Um, you know, when I was a boy, I would go and be with my dad's family, and they're all Caucasian. And so, you know, that was a really, you know, they're all ranchers and farmers, and that was awesome for me. That's where my affinity for horses came in. Um, and it was awesome. You know, my dad's family was pretty cool. They're simple people. You know, they're, I would say, somewhat redneckish, not out of prejudice, just out of being raised in a sheltered environment. Um, but it's interesting. So I honor her memory and I honor her choice to do that because she had foresight, even though she was such a young woman. And so I think it's interesting because there was a lot of judgment against her. You know, why are you giving up? Why are you raising your child in the white man's world? She wanted to raise her child in the world, not the white man's world. And you know, the fact that I'm biracial, um, you know, I'm part Indian, I'm part white. So there's no acceptance on either side. So, and I think it was a great choice because it gave me options and opportunity. So.